We are recording. Well, hello guys. It's Tim and Lindsay here, and we are finally doing the thing. The thing is a podcast that, as of right now, episode number 1 is only going to be on YouTube. Because we are going to figure this out as we are going. And honestly, it's just going to be real, raw, and authentic. And
right.
Our location is our car.
Absolutely. I'm excited to just take you guys inside what our drives look like, really where I think some of our most intimate time, not only with each other, but with the Lord really stems from.
Yeah.
Where we just unify. And we always say that it's where we're sitting right next to each other, going in the same direction at the same speed.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just really touches our heart. And I think a lot of people have been wanting this, and we're just trying to take a step of faith and courage to just do what the Lord's asking, and make sure this is encourages you guys as the listener and as the audience. We want to just meet you guys where you're at, and hope that our experience, our life, can just be hopefully a testament of the goodness of God, and share what He's blessed us with and how far we've come, and all the good things that He's done. So
I know, I'm really excited, and I think just as we're driving from point A to point B, it's going to be fun, it's going to be different, it's going to be challenging, especially for us, but just knowing that there's obedience in it, that the Lord has asked us to do this, and this has been a process of 2 years now, almost exactly, and just knowing that being afraid is the only thing that was keeping us from starting. And then it was like, how's it gonna look? What's it gonna sound like? And just knowing that, like, we couldn't figure out what it was gonna look like, what it was gonna sound like, and then all of a sudden it was like, we have got to do this. And so bear with us. We're super excited, a little bit nervous, but more so excited to just get to, like Tim was saying, just sit in, listen, and get to experience a little bit of our place of steadiness, and able to just learn and grow, and while we are.
That's right. Well, I think we should just kind of start with telling them a little bit about us, kind of our story, and where God's brought us from, what He's doing. Just kind of give them some context and some backdrop, so that they can just feel a part of what we love to say is just our family. I think that's my heart. That's been our heart, is just to make people feel loved and seen.
For sure.
Right where they're at.
Okay, well, if you're watching this, you probably know us, because I'm going to assume that only people who know us are going to want to watch for now. But hey, if you don't, we're originally from Washington State. We now currently are in Cookeville, Tennessee. So we literally moved across the country 4 years ago, and we have 4 kids. We grew up together. We've known each other basically from preschool, and here we are now. I think a funny little tidbit about us is that we, as in our children now, have adopted this saying, now that they have watched Girl Meets World, that we are the Corey and Topangas to them, or Corey and Topanga to them, because we met young, we dated young. I think it was 4th and 5th grade when Tim was in 5th grade. He wrote me a love note. I still have it.
I had to go ask her dad. That was scary.
Yeah, you had to ask my dad to go out with me. That was a thing.
Yeah, I remember walking up to him in the front of the church, and just saying, "Hey, Mark, can I talk to you? Can I ask you a question?" "Yeah, Tim, what do you got?"
Oh my goodness.
"Can I date your daughter?" But what a blessing, looking back at that.
Yeah.
I was scared, but
so fun. Our first kiss he missed. He was like, "Hey, look over there," and I was like, "Okay," and I looked over there, and he literally kissed me on the neck. on his front porch.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of love that our relationship, I don't want to say the basis of it, but like one big theme, at least when we were young, was our competitiveness, was our love for sports.
For sure.
Lindsay, I'm just going to say it, that way it's live on here. Lindsay is the superior athlete in the relationship.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Was not expecting that one.
And so I'm blessed. I like to brag on that because I know she can whoop me. She used to whoop me as a chunky little boy chasing her. I could not run her. I could not hoop her.
Yep.
Could not hit her.
This is true.
So
my sport was softball. Yours was football.
Yep.
And baseball. But the sport that we loved to play together was basketball.
It was.
Even though you still adapted to all the things that I needed you to do for softball so that I could practice and you could hang out with me at the same time. It was killing two birds with one stone for me anyway.
I still claim I was the best catcher she ever had, even though it was only for practice. But I never got hurt until later.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. I am very competitive, so we don't even play games in our house. And like I said, we have 4 kids, right? And so if you know me, you know that I don't play games. Like, we cannot play games. And because I get too competitive. And I don't want to ruin relationships that I have because of my competitiveness. So we just don't. We don't play games. I will never play a game with you.
Yeah. But growing up, we were, we went to cross rival towns. So I was from the town of Mount Vernon. She was from Burlington.
Yeah.
Very close. I mean,
a bridge.
A river literally separates them.
Literally.
But in high school, that played its own set of challenges, being with rival schools
and athletes.
Yep.
Not helpful.
So coaches of other sports were always trying to get us to get some inside scoops.
Yes. I will never forget sophomore year, I think it was for me, junior year for you, that I got pulled into Coach Shear's office, which was the head football coach at the time for my school. And he was like, okay, we're watching game film and number 38, that's the boy you're dating, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, okay, I need you to like let me know some things, like what are they doing at practice? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, also I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah. It was kind of crazy. And then when I went to your junior prom, it was during spring, and all the softball girls that were from his school did not like that.
Yeah.
I remember that being a not fun prom for me at all.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Oh my goodness, I remember that. That's crazy.
But a lot of good memories.
Yeah.
Like Lindsay played travel softball and just being able to travel locally. Down into Seattle and just different tournaments and getting to see her play.
Yeah.
Was always a joy. But I think nothing really ever prepared us for what we would later encounter. A big part of my testimony is just in 8th grade, well, I guess in 7th grade, my dad went to Iraq.
Yeah.
And went off to war, and I think just in a pivotal time in my life where I needed a father, and not that he was super distant, but just obviously physically, and giving him space to do what he needed to do was a hard time for me. And I think it was a perfect setup for the enemy to really just come in and begin to confuse me of my identity. I kind of always knew that there was a call in my life. I loved church. I did something called Royal Rangers as a kid. It was kind of like the Assemblies of God version of Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Just how close our families were with people of our church. I mean, that is family.
Yeah.
One thing not is blood, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think just going into high school, things really just began to shift for me, and I saw my dad come back, and things just kind of started to tear our family apart, and it just one thing led to another. Before I knew it, I lived for the party life. I lived for doing things but always being really good at hiding it.
Yeah, I think that was one of the hardest things. Is I was so pursuing playing softball, going to college, going to the Olympics, like dreaming so big, and then for me, like dating you because you were a boy I grew up with, you were a boy that I was comfortable with, I could trust you. You were a safety space for me, and then in high school, one, we didn't go to the same high schools, but then two, like you would show up to church. Yet I knew because you were weird Friday nights and Saturdays to me.
Yeah.
And like to know that something was up, but like still in my innocence, you like never inviting me into those situations.
Yeah.
And yet me starting to realize like that you were essentially self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
And having to watch the person I loved so much doing that. I remember there was one time, and you're not gonna like have this same memory because you won't, but I remember that we went to Oregon for a softball tournament, and it might have even been my junior year, your senior year. And I remember when you went and you stayed with us, and obviously because it was like so far away from home, but you stayed with me, and it was like the first time, even though you were with my family, that it was like I knew where you were on a Friday and a Saturday. And I think for me it really started to click, like something is so different and something's like pulling him and shifting like things in him.
Yeah.
And so for me, like it was small. There were always small, subtle things. I mean, I will never forget you pulling me aside in your high school basketball gym. I was just watching a game, and like you coming unglued on me, and then later finding out that you were like high and drunk, like so irritated. But I think for me, just like not knowing what was going on, but also like through innocence, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you thinking you're protecting me from that side of you.
Yeah.
And then for us to, and I know you haven't gotten to that part in your testimony, I guess, in a sense, but like then knowing how that affected us in our marriage.
Yeah.
Like it was so easy for a while for you to like not live two lives, but like hide certain things. And I think deep down, like it was because you felt like you were protecting me.
Yeah.
Even though it was something that, because I was so close to you, I could feel was just like killing you, and it was killing not necessarily us like that dramatic, but like there was something that wasn't like clicking.
Yeah, I think definitely looking back and thinking about it, to just be so kind of blinded with the thoughts of like, yeah, as long as she doesn't know, it won't hurt her.
Yeah.
Right. And they were saying something like that, like, what you don't know doesn't hurt you. It was kind of like just the thoughts of trying to satisfy fleshly desires that obviously aren't of God and from Him.
Yeah.
But again, I think just trying to find, who am I?
Yeah.
And what good am I to this world, and what good am I to anybody?
I just realized when you were sharing that, because we'll get more into like our testimonies later on in other episodes, but I just realized when you were sharing that, and I don't know why I've never thought about this like in depth before, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in 8th grade, my 8th grade year, because when did your dad go to war? Was it was your 7th grade, 8th grade year?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So, I mean, I guess they overlap. That was my 8th grade year was the year that my dad got in his really bad accident.
Mm-hmm.
Or was your dad here?
He
was gone.
I think he was gone.
So at the same time that your dad was gone,
my
dad had this like major accident. He hit a semi head on a road that he was going, well, if I remember correctly, it was at least 60 miles, 45 to 55.
So yeah, I'm sure he was going 60.
And he had to go to our major hospital in Seattle, Harborview, and have tons of surgeries, like rehab, all the things. His car was just demolished, And yeah, when you were just saying that, I was like, oh my goodness, those were like at the same time.
Yeah.
Where it was like so hard to like process what was going on, only have our moms,
right,
who also were like, who were strong. Well, my mom was, your mom is, very strong, independent women.
right.
So like taking care of their families they could do, and their children, they love their children well, so like that was easy for them, yet hurting at the same time.
Right.
And yet us being very strong and independent people as well in pivotal times in our lives, like that is so crazy. I don't know, that was just random. Totally random.
No, that's good.
I'm thinking like, what in the world? Like, we've walked through some things.
Yeah.
Even without realizing it. I'm interested to see if doing this podcast will like bring out that. Because I feel like our conversations are always so, they bring out things like that.
Yeah.
And I think just some like also backstory is like, first off, shout out to Lily. I'm shouting her out because
Episode 1, Lily.
Lily, because she called it. We were meeting for coffee. I was meeting with a bunch of, at the time, some were in high school, some were in college, some just had grown-up jobs, and and anyway, I was meeting with them in coffee shops and just like spending time with these, what I would say, young adults. And Lily was like, you need to start a podcast. And I was like, I am never going to do that. Like, everybody is starting a podcast. Everybody is doing these things. Like, I am not doing that. That was almost 2 years ago now. And she always, every time I meet with her and we talk, she's always like, that's a podcast moment. And I'm like, oh, my Lanta, no. So she knows that this is happening. So she'll be excited. But we wanted to start a podcast because we do have young adults that are close to us. We're young adult pastors now at our church. This is literally the month that we started. So it's 1 year today, which is kind of cool to think about.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And we literally never thought I never thought we would ever, well, ministry, I thought we would go into ministry. Young adults, definitely not. But the young adults that know us, and if you listen to this, I'm just gonna smile and laugh because you're gonna say something of like, they all know that we have our best conversations in the car.
Yeah.
And most of them that are close to us love being in the car with us because they know that we'll have these conversations in front of them, like such real and raw conversations.
Yeah. And
so you get to experience them now. We're just gonna, I think the flow of this is gonna be like, we're gonna just sit in the car. We're gonna go to wherever we need to go, most of the times on Saturday mornings, which today is a Friday night. But on Saturday mornings are typically like our date time, because that's when we have some time to just be the two of us, and we normally drive and go get coffee. So we have coffee and we're driving. So here we are. It's going to be the consistent thing, I guess. Because if you never start, you'll never know. And so here we are starting, and why not start in a car where we already are?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
just knowing like that's kind of where God met us.
Mm-hmm.
So many times it's easy to get kind of caught up in the intimidation of, okay, what does being called to ministry look like?
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I just love to be rooted in, because it's what's helped change my life, is just knowing like the only thing that you are truly ever called to is relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
And when you birth things out of that posture, that just raw, organic heart,
Mm-hmm.
He's going to bless it. He's going to flourish it.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do the exceedingly abundantly more than you could ever ask or think.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like we knew we were called, but we weren't striving for ministry and striving for what it looked like.
Right.
We just simply started with availability and
Mm-hmm.
obedience.
Yeah.
We knew that if we could be available to the voice of God and know that when he calls, it's going to lead us to action, and we can be obedient to that action, that he takes care of the rest.
Right. And that's been a process that is like lived out time and time again in our lives. And even more so in the last few years when we've been more willing to like see it.
Right.
Because I feel like when we talk about things that were in our past. Like, there were so many times that God showed up and did things, and yeah, we just maybe didn't see it through that lens, to know that he was just continually calling us to obedience, calling us to that relationship, and we really didn't have any reference point for it.
Right.
And the time and place happened to be that transitional period of moving from Washington to Tennessee, and then just like, yeah, growing here in Tennessee, where we have no family, we have nobody here. And, you know, back home we had an amazing church family, an amazing pastor who we love, and amazing small group, friends, like family, both of our families. And just to like pick up and move, like that obedience in itself, like God has just continually put his hand on, and we don't get it right every single time, but he definitely honors the obedience.
Absolutely.
And just the amount of growth that he's brought us through in teaching us these things every time we step out in obedience, and we do put, you know, what we hear from him to action, like it's so much better than what we could have ever thought.
Right.
Like you were saying. And I love that, because this is a testament of that. Like, okay, Lord, you've been saying it, you've been stirring it, and quite honestly, until Pastor Shane asked me to be on his podcast, his leadership podcast, and I was so not prepared, not ready, and it was amazing, and it was very like liberating and encouraging at the same time, and like, why can't we do this? And I think when you get past like what it's gonna look like, or like, oh, I don't have this studio, I don't have like a plan, I don't have the, you know, the right
things you think are necessary to
the mics, the aesthetics and all these things, and it's like, okay, but what has God given me? Because what God has given me is enough, because if he lives in me, then it's all about him coming out.
Yeah.
And coming forth, right? And so, yeah.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. For every this, God gives us a that. Like he will give you the tool. He will give you what you seem to think is the missing piece.
Yeah.
Because it's already in you. And, and that's where he steps in. So many times, again, we get stuck and paralyzed in this fear because we think we have to have it all figured out. But faith never requires that of us. Faith simply requires the first step.
Yeah.
And he's going to light up the path enough for you just to take that one step. He's not showing you the whole thing.
Right. Which we will so get into more of that, because I love it, because that I feel like is our move here.
Yeah.
Which I want to do in a different episode. This one was just kind of like, let's give a little insight into who we are, and you know, just see what happens while we were driving. And I think another thing I want to like totally just pivot on you is talking about what we do now. Like literally, okay, so we dated in middle school, we grew up together, moved across the country, we're married, obviously. So we have 4 kids, if you don't know that. That's crazy, because right now our 2 oldest, even though they're not exactly the same ages that we were, they're basically in that time frame of like when we started dating.
Right.
So that's kind of weird to like be raising a Tim and a Lindsay. And so our oldest is Bentley, he's a boy. And then me.
You get a lot of compliments that he's my mini me.
And he is. There's so many times where like he will do something, and I will have these moments of like, that is 12 and 13-year-old Tim and Lindsay. Like that just happened. And so it's been really crazy, and I love it, because I think this is how the Lord redeems time for me. Even though I've stayed home with the kids, I've always been involved with them. Like I think it's a different side of redeeming time, and he's just been showing me that like through Bentley, I get to experience you again, but in a very different way.
That's good.
And so it's amazing then too, because when I get to like talk about him to other people, and I share that, or I share the things that like he knows how to do and the things that he likes to do, and like he still likes to hold my hand because you're so affectionate, you make sure that he knows like who his mom is, right? And to love his mom and love her and love me well, like, and he does. But to know that he's not ashamed of me.
Yeah.
And if I ask him to do something, like even though he's 13, like sure, he'll maybe give me a little bit of a kickback, but really he'll do it.
Yeah.
Like the bottom line is he will do it. And like he knows how to clean the toilet and the bathroom, and he knows how to do laundry, and he knows how to like do so many things that I'm like, oh, I am raising a Tim to be a husband one day. And that's kind of crazy to be on like that flip side of it.
Yeah.
And just, it makes me really excited for whoever his wife is, and just getting to know how blessed I am with you, but then getting to relive that through Bentley too. It's kind of just a weird parallel, I know, but anyway, on that, so I stay home with our 4 kids. We're crazy. We had 3, and then decided when we moved here to have another. So we have
3 were born in Washington. 1 is born here.
Yeah, in Tennessee, and that's
Mateo.
fun. He's a toddler and a lot, but he's so much fun.
We took a big step this year and started our own business.
Yeah.
We started 633 Construction, which we named after, themed behind Matthew 6:33, which is seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all the lesser things will be added. Yes. And for us, it was really just like God was revealing that so clearly. And again, I guess for me is like I've grown up around church. I've seen some amazing people, and just really feeling called by the Lord to just kind of take it to the next level of what it looks like to actually live out godly principles.
Yeah.
I grew up, understanding that there's a heaven and there's a hell. But I think over the last 2 years, really discovering that like we can bring the kingdom of heaven here. Yeah. It's meant to be experienced here and now. And the only way we'll be able to do that is to really begin to manifest that through the Holy Spirit and taking back the authority and the dominion that we are meant to have. Yeah. And so that was a big step for me, is like, I want to kind of like know who I am. Yeah. And assert my dominance and my authority, not to anybody, but really to the enemy, and show them that like, no, I can do something. Right.
Yeah, because I love it. The Lord just right now, he was kind of reminding me of, we have amazing, I guess we could call them spiritual parents. I love them so much. We love them so much. And they always remind us of the wins. Always. And I'm going to try not to cry because I miss them. But they always remind us of the wins. And when you were just talking just now, like, and I know what our wins were for this year, or our goals were, and they have been wins. But I was just reminded, back in Washington, our Twin Holly Court house, there was a moment in that house when you were like, the next job I go to is my own business. And you didn't. We moved here and you worked for someone else. Totally. But it just reminded me, like, okay, in 2025, like legit 2025, it's September right now. You literally did the very thing that you have been terrified, and maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but not a whole lot, like the one thing, which is starting your own business, right? Yeah. Which is scary, it's hard, and like, especially when you're doing it just us, really just you, like I am just here. And you started a business. That's a huge deal, and something you had talked about for years. And even years before that conversation, I can remember you talking about always wanting to have your own business because of Uncle Joe and Tim and Paul, like seeing these amazing businessmen and like wanting to do things like they did things, and being encouraged to that. And then like here in 2025 too, like here I'm terrified to start a podcast because what are people going to think? Is anybody going to want to listen to us? Like, what is this going to look like? Are we crazy? Yes. But how it like parallels, and like we're doing big things this year. Like,
I just can't get over
us.
And one thing
is going on.
One thing that I feel like I share a lot, and one thing that God always is good to humble me and remind me of, is that the grace on my life.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
grace to me is everything. And if I start to reflect on my life and see things, God is always so gracious to reveal a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
And so in this scenario in particular, when we moved here, I got a job that required only 4 days a week to work, 4 10s, which we were moving here to redeem time.
Yeah.
But it was a total like faith thing, a total trust thing, because I walked into this building, into J&S Construction. They never met me before, and they literally started a residential division. This is a huge commercial company for me. So like the grace was there to like give me a taste of what it would be like to run my own business.
Yeah.
With still allowing the assurance of I get paid weekly, I have benefits, I have that consistency. And so it was 3 years of prepping me for what now I can step into.
Yeah.
And I think that just helps affirm that peace. It helps affirm, like, no, God, I've seen you as my provider. I've seen you as everything and more that you need to be.
Right.
And it doesn't make it super easy, but I do think it just gives you that sense of confidence that when he's been too good, when he's done too much, when you've seen him do something, you just start to gain this kind of like, he's not going to fail me.
Right.
He's too faithful. He's too good.
Right. Like leaning on him becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
Because he just continually proves it. I know for me, like in that process, and actually, again, thinking about this, like where we were a year ago, like you were on a specific job that was just like the kids and I came out, Lars and Marisha came down, and like we were working on this job to get it done. And there's so much of context to that, right? But like just to know that it was like, Tim, what do you want? Like, you need to speak what you want. You need to tell me what you want. And from here, we need to like make a change, because we were already falling back into the old habits. And like to know that in my quiet time with the Lord, it was like, Lord, like something has to change. Like I prayed for this. You gave us Tennessee. Yet here now we're already going back into the Washington ways that we were in.
Yeah. And the familiar, really. I mean, it just symbolizes our Egypt, our place of slavery and bondage.
And just how quickly the Lord like showed me like, hey, Lindsay, if this is really what you desire, like you can't have the financial gain and Tim's time and expect him to just be able to leave his job. Like you're demanding one thing, and maybe that's like harsh for me to say, but like, right, we have kids, we have a house, we have bills, like it's a thing. And the Lord just had to take me through this process of like, do you really trust me? Like, do you really think that I'm the source that can provide? Like, am I Jehovah Jireh or am I not? And in that moment, I remember just being like, we're doing this. And then from there, it was another like us getting our house ready to sell, to come to Tennessee moment for me. Where the Lord was like, okay, here's where your faith is, but I'm calling you to this. And so if I want you to get here, like, Lindsay, these are the things you're going to have to do in between. And even though he didn't give me those things like written out or anything like that, it was just like knowing that like, God, if you say this is who you are, and if in the Bible you do it time and time again in these stories that we have recorded, either this is true or it's not.
Right.
And knowing that like as soon as I could like jump on board, that grace and favor on your life just accelerated. It was like, not that I want to like give myself weight of like I was holding you back, but it was like as soon as I could partner with you, as soon as I could sit side by side and we could go in the same direction at the same speed, knowing exactly what we were going after, there was nothing that was going to come in the way of that.
Right. Well,
literally.
Yeah, because I think we had to come to the realization that the promises of God always require conflict. There isn't a promise that God gives that doesn't require some sort of conflict.
But for real.
Now, there will be times where he'll do it all on his own and defeat. But I love the times where he actually requires us to participate. Because I think, again, it just makes him so real. It makes him so evident in your life. And from there, you don't get prideful like, oh, I did it, but just knowing how close you are with God, knowing how to truly experience his presence and his grace that is all over your life, just begins to, I think, propel you. I love that word, accelerate into your calling, because we always think, I'm waiting for God. God, since Pentecost, has poured out his Spirit. That has been a constant river flowing.
Yeah.
It's about us stepping in and partnering.
Right.
Learning to walk, learning that we got to grab hands, and we're going to start out ankle deep. We want to go knee deep, waist deep, and just continue to immerse ourselves in his presence, in his love, and in his grace.
Right, because when you get in the water, like if you're walking along the side of this stream, right, or this river, I always see it as streams. It's like if you're walking on the bank of it, you don't really know what's in there, right? And it always, I feel like water, especially as kids, and maybe because our kids are legit water baby kids and like can swim and love swimming, like you want to get in it. Anytime you see water, it's like, I want to get in that. I don't know what that is, but I feel like it's got to be some like type of symbol that God's got for us here, you know, of just like getting in the water. And like you said, most of the time when you get in a pool or whatever, a lake, you normally get in with your feet.
Yeah.
Right? That ankle deep. Then it's like, okay, I'm good. And then you get knee deep, then you get hip deep, you know, and once you get past those parts that you're like, I can finally get in, like you get in.
Yeah.
And unless you just have this like childlike faith, and I'm just thinking of our kids jumping off the high dive at the pool, like they don't care, they're just jumping in. Like we're at the pool, we're jumping in. And I love that because both are great.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean one's more or less. It's literally that the fact that you got in, but when you get in, it's a stream, it's a river, it's a body of water that is moving. It's constantly flowing, because if it stays stagnant, you know, not good things will end up getting in that water.
Right.
And so it's like this water is moving. Well, that's your conflict. Those are the things, right? Have you ever been in a stream or some type of water and you're like, oh my goodness, like trying to walk through it, you know?
Yeah.
Like when we went to the waterfall here, when you and I went, what is that? Cummings Falls? Burgess Falls? I don't remember. I always get them wrong.
There's both.
But when we went and like walking through different parts, you know, some are slippery, some the current was hard, until we got to the waterfall and you're like, this is worth it. And then we climb up to the waterfall and you can jump in to that little like pool, you know, and it's like that right there is so much significance. We could preach on that. But I think sometimes we just expect it to just be this little kiddie pool that we get to just sit in our backyard in the comfort of what we want the temperature of the water to be and the color of the water that we want it to be.
Well, it's perception, right? Again, we always get hung up on perception. If we can't see what's at the bottom, it's going to make us want to wade in, like, you know, reach your feet out, kind of making sure what's under here.
Yeah.
You're not going to jump off of a cliff into water if there could be rocks there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's things that will, through your perception of what you see, will enable fear.
Right.
And that's typical, but in the spiritual realm, it's not the case.
Right.
It's this free flowing, crystal clear life. Yeah, it's that refreshing life that we're meant to live, right? He came to give us life and life more abundant. And so, no, I love that, because every step we've taken has been in just the right amount of grace, right? Where we can see that one step, okay, we took this step and God met us there. He was already revealing that. He was already moving there, and he was just waiting on us. So we took a step, and Evergreen was a blessing to know the people that we've met. And really how we got to the bend, it all intertwines in there up until this point of, starting 633 and now being able to do what we wanted, and that is to hire young men, pour into their life, and help this generation understand that the normalcy of thinking you just have to go to work and have no significance in your life is a lie.
Right.
We see so many, all the time and time again, that these young adults are always so hindered by time and money. And that's the heart behind 633, is to help bridge that gap and show them that all things are possible for those who believe, and that their life in the marketplace has, I believe, for this generation, more significance than the pulpit.
Right.
And I want to help re-identify them, so that when they step into whatever arena, whatever realm of life, they are equipped to do the work that they've been called to.
Yeah.
start relationships, disciple, and just know how to have intentional conversations in the workplace that change people's lives.
Yeah. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
And it's our heart. It was also the thing that when I was like sitting down planning things for the podcast, like that I thought was amazing was that the Lord reminded me, because I wanted to talk about our business, and the Lord reminded me how 633 is a an olive branch. It's meant to help extend something to start things. I mean, ultimately, that is what we want to do. We want to be able to build relationships, build community, help build mindsets. I mean, man, we could go into so many things that it's meant to do, or what we have vision and hope for.
Right.
And I think when I was sitting down writing this, it was just this amazing moment that the Lord again just was showing me, like, the podcast is an extension of that. And so just knowing that, like, we have the time, we have the space, we have the ability to do this, not because of us,
right,
but literally because without 633, I don't think we're here and having this conversation.
Absolutely.
So just how, like, the Lord just keeps reminding us of this continual, like, obedience sequence, and how he just reminds us time and time again that anything that is Christ-centered, it will flourish.
That's right.
And not that we'll get it right every time. There's going to be times that we're going to mess it up. I mean, hello, we're human. But, like, the heart posture behind it is just to advance kingdom things, to advance people we love, people that we can partner with, to just continually encourage and just put something out there to, like, hey, you're not alone. Or, I mean, I love it because just this week we got to walk with a young adult that the beginning just started with walking with her, and, like, you're not alone. This isn't crazy. And you kind of had to pull that out of me of, like, hey, you need to look at this a little bit differently.
Right.
Like, look what we went through. Look what she's just starting to go through. Like, there's so many similarities. And just to know, like, the grace that God has brought us in this exact moment, in this exact time. Like, I really feel like the Lord just keeps revealing to me is, like, Lindsay, you're living in your Esther time. Like, these are the moments. And I think it's amazing because he gave me the word opportunities at the beginning of the year when we were praying for the church. And it keeps coming up where, like, and I don't want to claim it like as ministry things, but just being who God made us to be in these moments.
Right.
Like, every opportunity that comes isn't for me, but it is a moment for me to share who God is.
Right.
And what God's done in my life, in our life, in your life, you know, what us together, here we are. I don't know, it's this amazing thing.
Yeah. I love that because since being at the Bend and just continuing to walk, I'm so thankful for Pastor Shane.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Pastor Shane for letting us use his mics to be able to do this.
You know, great leaders give you something worth sacrificing for. And that's just what I felt on my heart, is like him and his ability to, you know, everything comes at a cost. And he's been teaching so many things, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is your life cost? If it's all the cost, it's not sold out for Jesus, kind of a thing, right? Of like, if you still have a price tag, where are you really?
Yeah.
And then giving us prophetic spiritual insight on things around us, and it's just really began to shift me as a leader, right? Because, you know, me, I believe that I can only lead as well as I follow.
Yeah.
So I know he's following Jesus, and if I follow him, it's just this perfect alignment, because God uses people.
Yeah.
And I do want to be discipled by him. I do want to be taught things that I know he has way more experience in. And if his ceiling can be my floor, we're making progress for the kingdom. And so just his ability to bring that out in us, obviously first kind of through me, because I am the head of our house. I had to come a long way. I was always so thinking that I was willing to pay the price, but things always hindered me there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really step out. And so just learning about sacrifice. And it's maybe ironic, but not really, that the first message I get to preach in that church was about altars. And just letting that altar become your home. And understanding it's not just this Old Testament bloody gory thing, but that it's actually a beautiful sacred thing where you're laying your life down, portions of you that still aren't right, because you're right, we don't get it right all the time, but we're a perfect piece in progress. You know, God's
we're always being refined.
And so
we're always being cultivated.
I think this is just another great, amazing time in our life where we get to like lay something down and allow God to use it, allow him to be the perfect person that he is. And I'm just so thankful for you and the help that you've given me, and really the cultivating that you had to do for so many years before I woke up and decided to be the man that I needed to be. But it all had purpose. And so as much as there's times that I want to hate myself and think that I failed, I get to keep pressing. I get to sacrifice one more day and just live in the thankfulness that God has given me today and worship him.
And the overflow of the goodness of who he is.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, well, that was amazing. Go team go. Yes. Well, you guys, thank you. You made it through the whole episode. Yay. Thank you. And
hope you guys like it.
We're just going to keep it real. We're going to keep it authentic. We're going to keep it in the car. But really just our hearts coming out, and we'll have topics. This first one, we just kind of wanted it to be whatever came out, who we are, and for you guys just to learn our hearts. That's a really big, important thing for us, but just also maybe there was a tidbit of encouragement in there for you as well. So thank you. And we can't wait to see you on the next episode.
Yes. We love you.
Yes.
We're praying for you, and may God just continue to do his work in your life. And just follow him. Keep your eyes fixed on him. Because he's so amazing.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.